We bought an A-frame from last century in Ogre, Latvia, shortly before COVID in late 2019. Taking into consideration that we live in between countries, Latvia and Jersey Channel Islands, we have managed to get quite a few things done since we started this journey. From a summer cottage with no water supply, no heating system and dry toilet, to a house livable during winter. It is only the beginning, we have many more things in the pipeline. This account is dedicated to sharing our journey, renovating, decorating and learning to manage our lives while living further out in the countryside.
We bought this little cottage in a rather different way than normally people would, I guess. First of all, we were abroad at the time when we seen the house, and I remember I showed it to Eliza online, and she instantly fell in love with it just by seeing a few pictures. And even though the pictures were not great at all, I guess she had the feeling, and if she had the feeling, I had the feeling straight away after that as well. And I remember we were away, and actually my twin brother came and had a look at the place, and he said, "Oh yeah, there's a potential of some kind." And it was really great feeling, because when we finally came down to see it after a few months when we purchased it, it was actually a lot better than we expected, and all the pictures that we seen, and so it was a really great surprise seeing that the house was also not only in a better shape than we expected, but there was so much character and so many little details to look around and you know, find the little cabinets and find the little doors, and yeah, it was really great feeling to come and see it finally, and it was a lot better. My name is Gatis, and I'm a videographer and audiovisual content creator, and I'm doing a lot of stuff around the digital world.
And I'm Eliza, artist with a great passion for forestry and interior design. Gatis and I both appreciate things with a story, and that's in almost every area of life. You can kind of call it an approach to life in both clothing and interior. Oftentimes we love to go to flea markets and charity shops, and we love to find second-hand pearls, as we like to call them. By combining the existing and new, we think that the space acquires character, and that is why we decided to buy a house with added value. A-frame Ogrē is an A-frame house that was built in 1970s by Helmut Gutmans and his wife Sigrid. Both owners passed away at least 15 years ago, and we bought this house from their niece and their relatives at the end of 2019, finding the advertisement on real estate site. And despite the fact that we did not meet the previous owners, we actually got to know them through the belongings left in the attic, and such things like old skis and lots of letters and greeting cards and many gardening magazines and newspaper clippings and such things. And also one of the biggest treasures is old Russian photography magazine collection that I could actually use in my artworks, and we try to integrate them into our designs and our design decisions, and we try not to throw them away just like that, because we feel like they hold a dear value, same as everything in the house.
For us, really, I think it's important to be able to find a second, a third, or fourth life for these items, because there's so much character in the house. And obviously, one thing you can you know, just knock down the whole house, or put this in the bin, put that in the bin. But it's for us, I think it's important to be able to find the place in the house, because there's always been a place for those things in this house. And if you can find how to bring it back to life in a modern fashion, perhaps, or slightly in a different environment, but still within the same place. I think this is a lot about what we're trying to do here, and what we're trying to, I guess, show to other people. I guess is just appreciate the things that you don't have to knock the thing down, or you can find a better alternative for it and just adapt it to new way of living. I guess that's really important. So far working in the house, majority of things we've done ourselves, and a lot of it we're learning, and a lot of we trying to do as we go, and guess what, a lot of it we succeed, and the thing is, I think the main thing is just to go for it. I think that is a lot of a big message from us as well. It's a lot of it's don't be afraid to just go for it, and I think that's what we're going to be showing in this channel a lot as well, is by, I don't know how to do it, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna just by doing it, we're gonna find a way how to do it, and a lot of defect you can make them an effect, I think, and that's a lot of how I do things as well. So the ground floor is made out of dolomite. It's this big stone, and it is crazy just to see how Helmut himself was putting these stones and one on top of each other and layering them and lining them up so everything is straight. It's crazy to be able to see that and think like it was taking ages probably for him to get that done, and you can actually see in the little picture where he was building this, it's pretty bizarre to imagine how one person or even 2 or 3 people that have done it themselves without a major machines to be able to lift those stones. So that's the ground floor, and the first and the second floor is made out of wood.
It is an A-frame, so almost 70% of the house is the roof. So it covers 140 square meters approximately, and it is covered with clay tiles, and that is quite ancient way of creating a roof, and it's very heavy. And an interesting fact was that when the house was built around 50-60 years ago, the previous owners actually used clay tiles that were already 100 years old, and they're still there, and we would love to restore them and try to clean them and put some missing pieces back, because we find that absolutely amazing that there is such a great feature of the house.
When we first bought the little A-frame, it had only a dry toilet and no water supply, and which is very common in little cottages in Latvia. So that was one of the things that we had to sort out, and we're going to be talking about more about how we done and what we used and why we used and what we found difficult and etc. etc. And in terms of heating supply, there's a fireplace which is original in the living area. It was great to be able to find that it's still working and that the chimney is fine, and that whole side of things works. And so in the kitchen there was a little stove and a fireplace as well. And then we're going to be talking more about what solution we found was the best for us, and we'll show you more in detail in that as well. Very important part is that the little A-frame is right next to the river Ogre, and there's literally about 10 meters I think away from the main entry, and it's amazing to be able to be so close to the river. Sometimes it's scary, but I think it definitely gives the atmosphere and the ambiance when living in this little house. So even though we've done a lot already to the house and it's livable now, there's still a lot left to do that we want to do, and including the roof. We're going to be talking about that. An exciting little project is going to be upstairs in the attic. We're going to be renovating that into a bedroom and perhaps something special there as well. So we're going to be talking about DIYs, and we're going to be talking about how we do the day-to-day jobs, and how we're making defects into effects, and what inspires us and what we use and why we use, and hopefully there's going to be a lot for you to take, or even a little bit. It's going to be a pleasure for us.
Yeah, we're going to cover quite a lot because we have a garden, and I am very excited to learn more about gardening and growing our own food. Maybe not this summer, but I will continue to learn more about this, and I think that's a huge part of it.
We're going to be showing a lot of ways how we find creativity helps in a lot of household, and you might be surprised seeing that there's a lot of things in life that you can find a lot easier and cheaper just by being creative and allowing yourself to be creative, I guess. We know that the household works really never stop, and there's always stuff to update and to make better, therefore we wanted to make this channel to show how we do things, and perhaps find like-minded people, and perhaps to inspire, hopefully to show that everything's possible, and there's a lot of things that we can do ourselves, and really to find solutions on little problems in everyday life, and owning a little A-frame or a little property or a little house somewhere in countryside. And yeah, thank you for being a part of this. And yeah, then subscribe, like, as they say, and we'll see you on the flip side, on the next episode.
On a flippity flop.
On a flippity flop.